It smells.
Yeah, they
smells
got a lot of fans to
wonderfully terrible.
right? I can't. This actually doesn't control the.
So you're cooking it with the video camera?
No.
No, sorry.
The video runs through it.
Oh,
I'm
the
cooking
video
with the hot.
runs through the meat.
As it dries out, the signal gets worse and worse. Sometimes the vertical hold gets lost.
I hope you don't eat this.
No. Winner wants to, but I don't think it's going to be advisable. The last one I made was super delicious, actually. But it was 7 pounds. It was a big shoulder roast.
Yeah.
And it was essentially just...
Did you put some butter in the pan? This is just dry.
This is just dry. It's got a lot of fat in this cut, so it's rendering out now. Hello.
Piece of meat is running the video.
Oh,
A little steak filter.
Well put.
I wish I could walk around and see one of these stuff. I promised I would be near the hot plate that I was operating. I think I'm going to make my brother show you. Yeah, it's fun. This is my thing, steak filter. Having my video of the steak. Over the course of the night, the museum is going to fill with the smell of steak, and it's going to, as it loses moisture, the signal deteriorates, so it gets different video effects. Did you guys see the MakerBot guys?
No.
They were around the lab today, it turns out.
Did you?
Yeah, I turned the corner after getting out of the bathroom, and there's Bree and Zach.
Oh.
Yeah, checking out all the 3D printer stuff.
You mean in the media lab?
In the media lab, yeah, they were in the lab. Yeah, all day it seems. I guess Mako is showing already.
Okay.
Well, there's if you go to the Crystal Room, one of my favorite composers is actually playing live music.
sorry, do you know what the stuff that was in here was moved to?
I moved it into the
other-
staging area. No, that tiny little hidey hole in the back of the office complex.
Okay.
Do you understand?
I think I know what you mean.
Okay, I'll be happy to show you if you.
Okay.
Hello. Hi. This is just a video filter made out of cooking steak. So as the steak loses moisture, the quality of the signal will change.
Very interesting. So, tell me about it a little bit more.
Well, I mean, live video is this taut string between a sensor and an output, and so I wanted to speak to the substance of it. Oh, I'm getting a little. Oh, that's great. So this is a flesh filter. It's a surrogate.
A flesh filter.
Yeah, steak filter is the title of the piece.
Okay.
So it's a surrogate for the body. Sort of, you can't ever catch a video signal. It always just bounces on the waveguides. So this is a way to embody it and watch it as it enters something else. It's also pretty delicious. Slow cooking a steak ends up being a pretty nice way to do it.
This will keep it.
Oh, go ahead, please. Please do. Sounds like you get this.
Have you seen the deer?
What?
Have you seen the deer?
The deer.
Enough said.
Okay. Okay. Hey, man. Thanks for coming. Okay, I got the blood to percolate out the top. Check that out. Mmm.
They insisted you be in the room with the ventilation.
They insisted I bring in and set up an enormous number of fans, yes.
Enormous number of fans. What?
Those are fans I brought in.
Oh, you bought them?
Yeah. How was the meeting? Those were the maker bot guys that I was showing around. They're like little celebrities. They made the 3D printer. Yeah. Yeah. So I had to show them around. My brother was also there, and so I did get to give my brother a tour because Noah was like, you better show them this cool stuff. So, Peter, Lisa, Peter.
Hi.
Peter is my colleague at the lab.
Hi. Smells good in here.
Thanks, yeah, right? Did you know there's a real human inside that coffee?
No, really?
Yes, his name is Mr. Bones.
Really?
Serious, not joking.
That's weird that they put it
I
in
wish
coffee.
I had known that there would be a human available. We could have
Cooked him.
collaborated. Yeah.
Wait, so now how exactly does this work? The video feed is getting. So the can so. Oh, but it is
It's on
still
right here. Video. In, out. Simple filter.
Okay.
Steak filter.
And then as it gets hotter,
The steak will lose moisture, so the signal will deteriorate. You can actually, that's why I'm doing feedback, so you can actually see
so which one
with
is the
successive.
current one?
This is the first one. You can tell by the. So you can actually see different. You can see the signal degrade. Like here, it's doubling,
Yeah.
and the vertical hold is losing a bit of grasp.
But will the first one always be there?
The first one will always look relatively okay. Oh no, that's not true. The
Wait,
first
I
one.
don't get it.
Okay, well, so so feedback lets me take the signal in
Yeah.
whatever form and send
Yeah.
it back and back and back. So whatever operation, whatever
Right.
filter I do to the video happens again and again and again.
So this has only
So this is the
never
least
been-
filtered, but this is still being filtered by
I
the
see,
steak
okay,
because
it
you
is,
can
alright.
yeah, because I can nix it. But
I
then each
understand.
layer you can see the
So
it's
as
like
it
magnifying the
cooks,
effect.
The first one will be like that.
Exactly. And actually the vertical sync will lose hold and the color balance will change.
Uh-huh.
And
How
the
long
smell
does it
will get
take?
even better. As long as the steak takes, you know.
So when it's
I got
totally
some more
dried out,
steaks.
then there's no signal.
Yeah, I'm trying not to ruin them because
Then
people
you want
eat
to
them.
eat it.
I
But you know,
but
steak tastes better when it's raw anyway.
not this one. This one's been in the fridge for a week.
Okay.
Yeah, this one probably not. But
So you're saying when it's well done, the signal, it will no longer be transmitting the,
well, there will be so much less moisture
yeah.
that the signal will be much worse. It will still have some moisture, so it's possible if I've hit a vein of fat or something pretty conductive, it's possible the signal will still be intact. But
Uh-huh.
I'm just gonna switch it out when it looks like we want to start another filter going. I guess
Pull
maybe
it,
I should-
plug it in and out. That's just
Sure.
so funny.
Let's see if I can leave it there.
Where it was partial.
This one.
And so why are there 4 of them?
Oh, I could make more effect.
Okay.
In fact, this actually shows the effect a little more nicely.
Oh yeah.
I love it when it gets in a monostable state or a bistable state. Delicious, right?
So steaks at the cast party tonight, huh?
Yeah. For a price.
Yeah.
You don't know what animal that was. Could have been a bizarre animal.
Oh, yeah.
That's bizarre now.
I think there's a TV program about eating that.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my god, I didn't even see you there.
You don't want to be seen?
She's a camouflage.
Oh, she's a camo girl.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why you say
Who's in camouflage?
So I missed the first part of your explanation. Can you tell me?
Sure, it's a steak filter. So the signal comes out here,
Yeah.
it goes into the steak, and then on the other side we pick up the signal as it's processed through the steak and it goes into the screen. And since I'm shooting the screen, we can actually see the successive layers of degradation of the signal. So it's a way to, it's a different kind of filter. Everything filters signal somehow. I was interested in how steak does it. So as we cook it, it's going to lose moisture, tighten up, and that will change the conductivity. Will change the
And therefore
ability
the
of
image quality?
yeah, the image
Or the
will
ability to
deteriorate.
have
Yeah,
image at all?
at some point we'll lose vertical hold and we'll start sort of slowly rising up. It's getting some. It's pretty active for 10 minutes or 20 minutes into the cooking now. Yeah.
And at what point have you done a bunch of them so far?
I've done a couple.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
How many minutes in does it start to really complement
It's on
the
super
quality?
low heat.
Yeah.
And each one is different. I tried to nick a fatty area here
Yeah.
and a less fatty area here. Usually the fatty areas render out really fast, and then sometimes I lose signal entirely. So I'm hoping for about an hour, but I have a bunch more steaks.
And so does it matter which end of the line goes into fatty or not fatty in order to
No,
change the image?
no, it's,
you can
no,
do
it,
either
has,
way.
it doesn't care.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you had them both in fatty or drier areas, then what happens? For-
It's
for
just
the image?
different conductivity. So
And
uh,
does that change the color too?
the color will eventually get messed with. Color is actually a sync issue in NTSC signal. So once we start losing vertical hold, then color will start going.
And are you going to turn it over or just let it?
I think I'm just gonna let it think about itself. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't really want to cut a new hole when it's going because I forgot a spatula.
But
yeah.
semi-cooked meat.
Yeah.
Cool. So I should come back and see the
Yeah.
progress?
Yeah. We'll be cooking all night. Hello. This is Steak Filter. Steak Filter is a video system that uses this piece of steak as it cooks to transmit the signal to the television. So it comes out here, goes into the steak, gets picked up out here, and as the steak cooks, it'll change the quality of the signal. It'll lose moisture, it'll lose conductivity. It's not a very powerful signal, so once the fat renders out, it'll get this signal. It'll probably lose vertical hold first, but it's actually different every time, like steak.
Alright. And what is this room?
This is a classroom. This is actually where they keep a lot of the animals that are a little worn out. So that's why they let me cook a steak in this one. Usually I think kids come in here for dissections or whatnot.
And the steaks conducted with the sick.
Is there more to it than just, wow, that's kind of cool but weird?
Well, live video for me is this taut line between the output and the image, and there's no saving it. It's always a continuous thing. It's an uncapturable spirit. So I wanted to make flesh experience that transience. I wanted to use the steak as a waveguide the way our bodies often are guides for ideas or thoughts we have. It's more about live video than it is particularly about bizarre animals.
Oh, sure.
But-
I mean, it is bizarre.
Right? And
I
it's
will
part
hope you'd
animal.
agree.
Totally.
Sure.
So what is that on the video? Is that
This is just the image. So the video is on, it's live, and the video signal comes out here, goes into the steak. We pick it up from the other end.
so it's a fiber optic?
No, it's just a regular video signal, analog video. It's just conductive. Meat, flesh, humans, cows.
It's not human flesh.
No. There were rules against that.
So the video signal is going through the steak and into the TV.
Exactly. And then as it cooks, the steak will lose moisture and change the quality of the signal. So we'll lose vertical hold, the color shift will occur.
So what's the red stuff coming up and all the blue stuff?
The red stuff is just, so this is just video feedback.
just
So this
what-
is
yeah,
the second
I mean, it's whatever
image of
you're
the
getting.
image. Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's like fractal processes are just the same idea again and again on feedback the result. So this is just a way of magnifying the effect. Up here, this has gone through about 20 times now. So we can see what the steak what will happen if we keep going this way. But it's funny because this is actually, each layer is a representative of the state of the filter at any moment, which is hard to capture in ways other than here it is on the screen. You can't say, oh, it had this much resistivity because it changes all the time as I cook it. Turn this up a little bit. This is steak filter. Please feel free to ask me any questions if you have any. Basically, the live video signal is going into the side of the steak, and it's coming out this side, and we're just watching as the steak cooks. It'll change conductivity and filter the video differently each time. Thanks. Yeah, that's part of it. I was hoping, I really wanted to do it out so that the whole museum got a steak smell, but apparently that might stick in all the animals because it's, fat in the air. It's gonna. So I have some ventilation, and hopefully I won't make their animals smell like steak fur, but they're worse fits.
So it's a video going inside, or?
It's a filter, yeah. So the input is right here, and the output is right here. It goes right to the TV. We feed the signal back. If you stop back throughout the night, it'll be changing. We'll lose vertical hold at some point, and I have more steaks.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Look at that big fucking bone just hanging out of there.
It's an elephant leg.
That's awesome.
What the F? Try to lift it. It's ridiculous. It's got to be 60 pounds, 70 pounds. I think it's a real one. Right? Imagine walking. Hello.
Hello.
Right? How's it going?
It's a live feed. Wait, will you explain what's going on right now?
Sure. It's just live video. So signal comes out here, it goes into the steak, comes out of the steak here, and then I have it feeding back so we can see the effect of the filter processed again and again. As the steak cooks and loses moisture, the signal's going to change. It's going to lose conductivity. So at some point we'll lose vertical hold and it'll start really flipping out. But sometimes I've gotten like green appearing for some reason, and I think that's because I was heating the element. It's a flush filter. Steak
Smells
filter.
great.
Thanks. Yeah, everybody likes steak.
Smells good.
I know.
I think this creepy, right? Discarded birds.
Wait,
Yeah.
so does the same? So is there something? The steak is conductive in a way that other things wouldn't be if you cooked them.
No, flesh is conductive. Yeah.
Fish. What's fish like?
I don't eat fish.
What about chicken?
Chicken seems too gross even for me. Rare chicken. That's some. Also, steak filter has a ring to it that I couldn't deny. So, yeah.
Duck filter. That sounds pretty good too.
Yes, that would be.
You could try that.
It'd have to be a whole duck, and then you'd have to wonder where would we put it.
Yeah.
This is steak filter. I made it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Yeah.
What's radiating from it?
Well, that's just an effect of the feedback. So we have live video here. The signal comes out here, it goes into the steak, comes out this end, and goes into the TV. And so the steak changes the signal a little bit, just running analog signal through the flesh. So as we cook it, it'll lose moisture, it'll tighten up.
Oh, I see. So there's
So
like
it'll change a little
heat
bit.
under it.
Exactly. Yeah, this is a hot plate. So I just have the feedback so that at each layer you can see the same filter operation performed again and again. So it helps sort of visualize exactly what is changing about the signal. So actually the radiating is a timing difference between the signal as it first shows up and the time it takes for the signal to go to the TV, back through the steak, to the TV, back through the steak. once it loses a lot of moisture, we'll lose vertical hold. It'll jump around really crazily.
And stabilize.
It will stabilize and maybe fail at the end, but I have a bunch more stakes. Hey, how's it going? Nice to see you, people. This is stake filter. Stake filter, I take live video. It comes out of here, goes into the stake, and then it goes through. So as it cooks, it's going to lose moisture, tighten up, and the signal will deteriorate
Okay.
because it's less conductive.
Okay.
I wanted to experiment with different marinades and see like, oh, there's a nice vinaigrette, can be a good green,
better color.
but really raw steak seems to give. I mean, eventually, so it's going faster now, which is interesting because
You've only got the red and blue?
yeah, I mean the green shows up I think when it's way dicier, like it's pretty new steak.
This is my friend Autumn.
Hi,
Oh,
nice to
Noah.
meet you.
Sorry.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's cooking, and
It's cooking.
as
As it
the
cooks.
May I get close to
Sure.
it?
Yeah.
it smells, the smell was what they were. Okay, I'm sorry. I
Why?
had to stop. What the hell is that in there?
What?
In the tray.
Oh, it's like trilobites and shit? I mean, not really a trilobite. It's some awful looking. Ah! Look at it!
Oh my god.
Oh, that's awesome.
What the hell is that?
What is this?
I think it's a horseshoe crab, right?
Yeah, it looks like a fine thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, I didn't know they had paws.
They do.
It's cooking.
It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, so the signal goes out here, goes into the steak, comes out of the steak right here. And as it cooks, it will filter the signal differently because it's losing moisture. So it's sort of a... Yeah, if you come back later in the evening, it should dry out more and we'll lose sync.
Oh my god, this sounds like climbing. So nice. Hey,
Maybe I'll speed this process up a little.
So Greg is in a little box.
Yeah, Greg's in the box. Yeah, it's straight.
right on.
Have you seen Harlow's tour?
No, at 8:15.
Okay, cool. Cool. Yeah, that equipment was last minute it came together, but it works awesome. Yeah.
Why is it getting? Why is this side getting much thinner?
So this is feedback, right? So this is the image. This is the image of that on
Right,
TV.
right.
That's the image of that. So the steak performs a filter operation. It changes the signal. So with each successive layer of filtering, we're seeing that signal applied to its own result 3 times or 4 times. So it seems to be messing with the position a little bit.
Did you always have feedback right here?
Nope, it changes. It's different every time. It's going to change all night. As it loses moisture, it's going to get a little more dicey and intermittent. Thanks, dude.
It smells
Gross.
It still smells a little like formaldehyde in here. That's because of all the dissections they did today. A little. Okay. So I tried to make it very clear, but this is a steak filter. The live video comes out of here. We run it into the steak. This side picks it up. And as the steak cooks, it loses moisture and the properties of the filter change. And we're doing feedback here just so you can see the effect of the filter magnified or iterated several times.
No, you're making it so hungry.
Yeah, the smell is pretty tantalizing. How are you doing? Thanks for coming.
I'm good. Of course I was gonna
Let's
come.
go.
There's a lot of people. It's food. But I did try to like match the surroundings.
Yeah, no, you blend right in.
Not to the state.
No, but a few things blend in with it.
But is that turtle meat or?
No, just regular cow. Probably gonna eat it at the end, you know, so didn't wanna.
So what was the piece about?
Well, live video is this taut line between the sensor and the result. There's no saving it. So it's this transient sort of ghost signal that can only be constrained by these waveguides. So I wanted to introduce flesh into that. I wanted flesh to partake of that transience. So I ran some video signal through a stake, you know?
This is the first time though.
No, I've done a bunch of these.
Because I've heard you've talked about this.
Yeah, I've been talking about this for a while. But it always turns out different.
But
It's
how
great.
is the
How's
how is
it?
this
Hey, man.
video working?
What do you mean, how is the video working?
No, but how is like how I don't understand.
Well, like it's just
How it turns-
analog video,
Yeah.
yellow.
But the heat is that color or what?
Nope, it's just the effect of the. I mean, you can see the first image here is pretty unperturbed, and so as we, and this is actually going through the filter, but as we do that filter operation again and again and again and again, the signal shows these. It magnifies the effect of the filter. So it's just a way of demonstrating or heightening the effect that the stake has on it. Hello. This is stake filter. I don't know if anyone heard, but this is a live video feed. It comes out here and it goes into my stake here, and then it gets picked up on this side. And so the stake is filtering the signal as it cooks. Once we lose moisture, it's going to lose vertical sync and produce all sorts of interesting video memories.
Crazy. Can you move it around?
What?
Move it around. It's really cool.
Move this.
Yeah. No. Yeah. You changed it.
Should be able to get
What if
some.
you trace it across the stake when you're
Well, if we just set it on there, we'll get some weird video sync issues. So that's what it looks like when it loses a lot of conductivity. But if I just let it sit in about an hour, it should get back to that state as the moisture leaves the meat and it constricts, becomes less conductive.
Crazy.
Thanks for coming, man.
Yeah.
Have you seen
I love the museum.
Yeah, it's fantastic, right?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's a nice exhibit.
How's it going, Andrew?
All right.
Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you.
Thanks for coming. It's doing the thing we all thought it might do.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Sure.
You wanna,
Yeah.
it's really late.
No worries. I mean, it's fiendishly simple. The live video comes out of the stake, or I'm sorry, out of the camera. I run it in here. This is the side that picks up the video signal, and it, as you can see, it's filtering. It's changing the signal. So as I cook it, it's going to lose moisture, and the conductivity is going to change. So the filter is always in this changing state of becoming dinner or becoming a different version of itself. And so I've got this set up pointing at its own results so that I can feed back the filter result several times. And that way we can really magnify and see the effect of the filter.
Sorry, what filter?
The stake is functioning as a filter. Almost everything functions as a filter of one type or another. So I'm sending analog video through this piece of meat, sort of a surrogate for flesh, and watching it change as I send this sort of uncapturable signal through it.
This is like
What?
so early video.
I know, right? It's a throwback.
So Namjoon Pike.
Yeah, I haven't ruined the TV with any magnets yet, but
Oh,
yeah.
you should.
no,
Or is it yours?
I don't want to
It's
buy
not
that
your
TV. This TV weighs like 200 pounds.
I got some old TVs.
What? I know.
It's the
This one had the
most ruined.
nicest picture. I actually have a
They're
TV
not
here.
flat screen.
Yeah, I have a TV here that I think I'm gonna throw out because I'm past the
You should
area
play with it.
collecting TVs.
No, but we shouldn't collect them. We should collaborate.
Sure. I mean, they all have 7 pounds of lead in them, so the sooner I recycle them and get them properly out of my life, the better. But I'd be happy to
Save the
put them out.
environment.
What?
The better you save the environment.
That and I have maybe 6 TVs now, just around, and I don't watch a lot of TV, and I don't use
Do
them
you
all
have
the time.
cable?
No.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Well, my parents, they go through a lot of TVs and they just give them to me.
Yeah, it's because
There's nothing you can do.
exactly nobody wants it. So we give them away. Reed and Zach and Eric. I turned the corner. I was waiting for Dennis. And there they were, and I did a terrible tour because I was not prepared for them, and I was also it was like 4:45. But there were one visit. I don't know. We gotta do our internet and find out. They're in. They want a really pumping Thingiverse as like the way to transmit. Yeah, they are working on SchemeForge also to make it useful. They agree that it's the worst thing in the world. Didn't mention however it's $20 because it didn't seem proper, but I told them it was a required mod. We just big instead, and they're nice ones. I did not get to read the Flame War, so I couldn't make any wry allusions to it. It is still smelling. I turned the heat down a little bit. But, it smells okay. I'm hoping that Hello. This is the only... Well, there's a bunch of beautiful birds in this room. There's also steak filter, which is this live video. It's going into this cable, and then this cable here picks up the signal, and we send it back into itself. And as the steak cooks, it's going to change conductivity and change the nature of the filter. So eventually we'll get a loss of vertical hold, we'll get some weird green colors, and then the steak will be done.
Wow. That smells like steak.
Yes.
Just really
Yes.
weird after seeing all of those images.
Yes.
Hungry now. Makes me feel a little bit nauseous.
Well, they asked me to set up all these fans, so I'm going to maintain all the bottles with the smell of steak. That is so much fun. You can go on camera, you even have the TV, and you play with it, and you get really cool effects. Like if you twist it sideways, the little...
But no, my friend, who he's an electrical engineer.
Cool.
Could he unplug your?
Oh, I don't want to. Oh, it looks delicious. Oh, you got to be kidding me. It smells delicious.
Yeah.
Ellen, how do you feel about the steak part of it?
Yeah.
So you're sending the video through the steak?
Yep, live video just comes right out here, goes in there, that's the output, and there we go. As the steak cooks, it's going to change conductivity and the signal will deteriorate.
I like my video medium well.
I like my media mixed.
Thank God for AGC.
I like my medium rare. And this is a rare sight indeed for me.
I think that's the best thing yet.
That's really cool.
Yeah. No one calling us on this before.
Nope. No, it's a temporary fun feature in the museum.
This is kind of fun. Oh, I see you have more for later. That's
Yeah,
fun.
well, it didn't fit in the pan, actually. So I had to do a little bit of surgery, but I got one more in the fridge after that.
And I know I could have brought you a little thermometer.
It seemed like I didn't want to. I mean, I don't really care what temperature the steak is.
Oh, okay. You wanna, that's good enough.
Yeah, I was interested in energizing some steak with some live video. It's just so strange.
Yeah.
Steak.
Video filter
Yeah.
running off of the curtain.
Steak filter.
Well, formerly known as
Yeah.
I'm not sure the cow appreciates that. There's a video filter running off of the curtain.
It's a reverberation. Well, the reverberation is just a magnification of the filter.
No.
So the steak is changing the analog signal a little bit.
Okay.
And I'm aiming at the screen so that I can get the effect of that change multiplied and then multiplied and then multiplied and then multiplied. So up here you can see it's been through about 20 times. So the reverberation is actually just, from time to time there's a sync difference between the image on screen and the new image that the camera is sending.
Why the splits?
Causing that motion. It's interesting, it's changed pace. When I started it was much slower. Yeah.
What happens when you turn down the heat?
The heat is pretty far down. It really just affects the time it takes for the signal to totally deteriorate. So far doing them pretty low heat, just to, I don't want to make any smoke. It'd be bad to set off the fire alarms this evening. So we're doing it sous vide.
It's 20 times.
Oh, is it 10? You counted? Okay. No, crazy. Okay.
Cool. When are you gonna flip it?
I'm not gonna flip it. I don't think. I think I'm gonna let it just go all the way through. Yeah. I mean, it's a system that I've set up, and I'm just gonna let it go.
Can you explain what you're doing again?
Sure. This is a stake filter. So I'm taking live video out of here. It goes through this wire and into this stake. This is the pickup wire. So we're using the stake as a conduit for the video signal. Simultaneously, we're cooking it. So as the steak cooks, it's going to lose moisture and change conductivity. So the nature of the filter and, in fact, the resulting image will change. Okay. So this is a sort of long-form, evening-long, hypnotic dinner.
They don't do hypnosis, all right.
People have been asking to eat it.
Are you going to?
Probably shouldn't eat it. It's probably going to be gross. I mean, I'm going to cook the hell out of it. But,
it's an awfully big waste of steak.
Yeah, I ate all of the ones that I did as a test, and I've actually had a lot of steak at this point. But this one has been in the fridge for 4 days now. I feel a little queasy about it. Hello. Thanks for coming.
This is extremely unusual.
Yes, well, you don't see it every day. You see it.
And this don't recall I've ever been in here before to start with.
Really? Have you seen this elephant bone right here? It's kind of remarkable.
What's
So
cooking?
this is steak filter. So essentially I'm taking live video. It comes out this cord. It goes into the steak. And then I pick it up with this cable right here. And the steak actually functions as a video filter. It changes the signal a little bit just because it's an imperfect conductor. So we're sending it into the screen and then we're capturing that image and sending it back. And as the steak cooks over the course of the evening, it's going to lose moisture and change conductivity. So the actual image result will change. So we'll watch how the video signal changes over the course of the evening.
How do you think it'll change?
I've done it several times. It's going to lose video sync or lose vertical hold eventually. We're going to get weird green coming in once the material really heats up. But it's different every time, just like steak. So I'm always interested in seeing how it pans out.
The colors have any relation to the heat?
The colors are a result of the filter, yeah. So it's not necessarily the heat; it's just the conductivity of the steak.
Which is the moisture?
The moisture, the fat content, the electrolytic content, like how much salt is still in it.
Oh, so if you salted your meat now, it might change?
I was experimenting with a bunch of different marinades. I had some vinaigrette steak filters. I had just some straight Worcestershire sauce steak filters, and they actually change it less because there's so much salt in there. It's a really good conductor. And I also wasn't sure I should be preparing. I mean, the steak is a surrogate for flesh, so I wasn't sure I should be treating the steak in any way that wasn't theoretically
You intend to do this
applicable.
with real flesh? Is that what you're saying?
No, but I use it as my relationship to live video is such that I see it as this taut line between the sensor and the image, and there's no way to capture this and have it be live video. You can't write it unless you write the actual analog signal to tape. So this is sort of a unique dynamic system resonating in my waveguides, resonating in this, and I'm adding flesh to that equation to sort of speak to the transience of this moment. I wanted almost for it to become part of my signal system, part of my video system. I wanted to put myself in the signal chain, if that makes more sense.
What made you think of that?
I've worked with video for 10 years, 15 years now, I guess.
And you didn't 10 years ago think, oh, someday I'll be.
I've always been
using
curious.
meat as a filter.
You know, sometimes you're running a show or you're setting up cables and there's like just this much distance between, and you always sort of almost want to go and just not have to get an extra cable. So I started thinking about
I could see that.
You know,
yeah.
how that might work.
Okay.
Now, did you pick steak because it's
No.
like it most resembles flesh, or is there a reason why you did that? I like steak the most. Poultry, or any other kind of meat. The appearance on screen is, I think, far more readable. Yeah. Still image of steak reads as meat, flesh, red meat. Right. Chicken just looks
like a
so
bland,
weird, and I don't eat fish really. Yeah. And fish makes a not a great smell if you overcook it. Like steak, if I burn a steak, it smells like steak and chocolate. Yeah. So.
What about something like baked, like cookies or cake or something?
That's not fresh.
I
Yeah.
get it.
Plus, you need the moisture, right?
The smell? You mean? Yeah. It would. It would. Yeah. I mean, I'm interested in sort of transubstantiation, the moment when a magical event occurs and flesh is made into something else.
Okay. Yeah, but you could do that with bread. You know, it goes from dough to
Yeah, bread
something else.
has a lot of interesting cultural contexts. Steak filter, I thought of it in the name, stuck with me. I like the name. It seems pretty. Yeah. True enough. True enough.
You don't mind if I start a punk band who makes steak filter?
Well, you have to credit me, but yeah, go ahead. I mean, I'd rock out to that band. So this is a piece called Steak Filter, and I've tried to make it very clear what's going on, but there's a live video camera. The signal goes through this wire and into the steak. On this side, this steak signal comes out of the steak and it goes into the screen, and we repeat this process. So as the steak cooks and loses moisture, the nature of the filter will change. So it's a long form piece. Over the course of the evening, you can drop back in and see how it's changing. The color is just a result of the filter. It's just no, this is all, I'm not doing any tricks. This is just what the steak output. Yep. You know, we're getting some nice pixelation.
Where
So
is
the
filter in the camera? Or?
The filter is the steak. Yeah. So like there's no signal without the steak. And if I were actually to put it there, it looks fine. If I put it here, we can see the change that the steak is affecting on the signal. I like the flash. The flash makes it catchy.
Thank you.
Sure. So when it loses a lot of moisture, it's going to lose vertical hold, jump around a lot. It'll probably get a little green. I have some more steaks though in case we go too fast. So I have backup steaks.
What do cooked steaks look like?
Cooked steaks are a lot. They have a lot less moisture content. So hey man, congratulations!
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
What is your name?
Miriam.
Miriam. Hello. Are you ready for some steak? No, that was a shrug. Miriam shrug.
Cool.
Steak filter.
I saw it on your website.
Oh, great! Yeah. So you know the whole spiel. This is my mom and my brother, John, Ali.
Thank you.
Yeah. John was in Paint Shop. John was on the green team.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Greg's around here too somewhere?
Greg is reading in a tiny little phone booth.
Phone booth.
On the landing. That's great. Yeah. He's reading about some South American travel adventures.
Cool. Good stuff.
Yeah, stop back in. It'll be different.
Cooking. Are you serving them? No.
That question has come up. I probably shouldn't serve the steak.
No, I would.
Yeah. I couldn't
accept that
guarantee
idea.
a good experience eating the steak.
Right. So what?
I took your stuff. It's in the staging room. Sorry about that. Yeah.
What steak filter?
No, I made these cables yesterday. Okay. I had a banana clip set up, I had an alligator clip set up. Okay. But these cables work well and they are much more consistent.
Sure, if you tested them a lot and the acidity or heat or something,
It's stainless steel, surgical stainless steel, or 1820 stainless steel. So I'm hoping we're okay. But yeah, I was a little worried about heat on the cables, but these are silicone cables, so they should be good. Yeah. If you didn't hear, this is stake filter. Maybe you did hear. Okay. Well, so there's a live video signal coming in here. It goes through this wire and into my stake, which is functioning as a video filter. Gets picked up.